two sisters, bound by a silence. They spoke only to each other, in a secret language, a shared prison, a silence hiding a dark secret, until one died and the other finally spoke. June and Jennifer Gibbons were identical twins, but they were far from ordinary. Born in 1963 and raised in Wales, these girls shared a secret bond that isolated them from the world. For years, they refused to speak to anyone but each other. They created their own private language, locking themselves away in silence. Their story is one of mystery, obsession, and a pact that led to tragedy. This is the haunting tale of the silent twins. June and Jennifer were born in Barbados but moved to the small town of Haverfordwest in Wales during infancy. From the beginning, they appeared inseparable. Their parents noticed something unusual early on. The twins seemed to communicate only with each other. Despite being capable of speech, they almost completely shut out the world. At school, they rarely spoke to teachers or other children. Instead, they whispered between themselves in a language that baffled everyone around them. This private language was complex and rapid, almost indecipherable to outsiders. Teachers and school officials grew increasingly concerned. Was it extreme shyness, unresolved trauma, or a deeper psychological issue? The girls were labeled odd and uncooperative, often becoming the targets of bullying. Their silence made it difficult for anyone to truly understand them. They were referred to speech therapists and psychologists, but nothing seemed to change. They retreated even further, finding solace only in each other's presence. To the outside world, they were silent and withdrawn, but in private, their bond was intense and their communication relentless. Their invented language, a blend of rapid-fire English and unique phrases, was more than just childlike play. It was their world, a code so dense and fast that even audio recordings couldn't fully capture it. This deep connection began to resemble something less innocent. It became obsessive and isolating. They spent nearly all their time in their shared bedroom, creating elaborate fantasy worlds, writing stories, and losing themselves in their imaginations. The neighbors occasionally heard strange sounds coming from their room, whispers, bursts of laughter, even angry outbursts. But the twins remained silent around others. As they grew older, their behavior became more erratic. Psychologists noted that although both girls were intelligent and literate, they were emotionally stunted and completely codependent. Any attempt to separate them would cause severe emotional distress, including mutism, paralysis, or catatonic states. Their diaries later offered a chilling glimpse into their inner world. Jennifer described her fear and hatred of June, calling her a rival who controlled her life. June, in turn, saw Jennifer as domineering and suffocating. Each twin believed the other held power over her life and identity. They craved individuality, yet feared what would happen if they were truly apart. Their relationship had become a psychological prison. In their teenage years, the twins began acting out. They committed acts of vandalism, theft, and arson. Their behavior escalated, not out of malice, but seemingly out of desperation, as if trying to break free from their shared psychological cage. In 1981, after setting fire to a building, they were caught and sentenced not to prison, but to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric institution for the criminally insane. Life inside Broadmoor was bleak. The twins were surrounded by dangerous individuals, and their already fragile mental health began to deteriorate further. Observers noticed an eerie synchrony. The way they walked, moved, and even blinked seemed perfectly mirrored. They refused to speak to anyone else and would go into trances when separated. Doctors were baffled. Was this a case of shared psychosis or folie à deux? Or was it a completely new psychological phenomenon? Over the years, the twins remained deeply entwined. But as time passed, a shift occurred. Jennifer's health began to fail, not due to any diagnosed illness, but as if her will to live was fading. She became withdrawn, physically weaker, while June appeared stronger and more articulate. The twins spoke of a pact that for one to live freely, the other must die. Jennifer agreed to be the one to go. In March 1993, shortly after they were moved to a less restrictive facility in anticipation of eventual release, Jennifer suddenly collapsed and died. The cause was myocarditis, a rare inflammation of the heart. There were no signs of poisoning, injury, or disease. Her death was sudden, unexplained, as if she had simply willed herself to stop living. After Jennifer's death, something extraordinary happened. June began to speak, clearly, fluently, and to others. The woman who had been locked in silence her entire life was now able to communicate openly. She said her sister's death was a relief, and that Jennifer had made the ultimate sacrifice for her. June was eventually released and began living a quiet life in the community. She stayed mostly out of the public eye, speaking rarely about the tragedy that defined her youth. The silent twin story has baffled doctors, psychologists, and the public for decades. Some believe it was a case of extreme codependency. Others think it was a rare form of shared mental illness. A few even suggest something paranormal. A psychic connection so powerful it blurred the line between two individuals. Their story has inspired books, plays, films, and documentaries, but the truth remains elusive. June and Jennifer Gibbons didn't just live as twins, they lived as one, bound by a language no one else could understand, consumed by a bond that was both their sanctuary and their prison. In the end, they were separated only by death. Their story remains a haunting enigma, a tragic tale of silence, obsession, and the invisible threads that connect the human soul. Was their silence madness, trauma, or something beyond understanding? One unbreakable silence, one voice freed by tragedy. What really happened to the silent twins? Comment your thoughts below.